Hi, welcome. I'm Mary and I hook books. I crochet things inspired by books that I read or listen to on audio. Mostly science fiction, fantasy, a little bit of nonfiction, horror thrown in there. And I am still doing the Goober Readathon this month as well as the Buzzword Readathons. So let's go. The Inexplicable Universe. Neil deGrasse Tyson, The Great Courses. It was really fun, very elementary. I didn't learn too much that was new because I've already listened to a lot of Neil deGrasse Tyson. But if you're new or not well versed in quantum mechanics and just the weird science of our universe, this would be a really great entry point. My favorite part was the first chapter, and people often go, ugh, nobody has common sense. But common sense has to be taught. Common sense will differ based on where you are in space and time. And he goes into like the scientific, like, we used to think this and it was common sense, and now we don't. So I really liked that. That was my favorite part. But overall, I think this was a lot of fun. I didn't get so much out of it. I got a couple little blurbs, but I would recommend this very widely.
Un círculo de magia, algo que se lleve la razón. Sos el viento en las mañanas, sos el aire.
These Memories Do Not Belong to Us is a book club pick, so it satisfies that prompt. It's not my local book club's pick. My curtains are falling down. But it is a Dallas City Library book club pick, so I'm going with it. I kind of expected and wanted more of a speculative element out of this. This takes place in a future where memories are stored in a memory bank in your head, and you can trade and buy memories. It becomes like a currency, and this man inherits his mother's memories, and we're kind of in a not great, somewhat dystopian dictatorship in the future. So the memories his mother have are problematic for him. And he thinks that the party, the glorious party, is gonna have some issues with them. So he's like, if I'm going down, I'm gonna share these memories with everybody. And these memories are basically a collection of short stories that make up his mother's life. And I love that idea, but the stories themselves were highly variable in quality. The first story, I almost DNF'd. I was like, if all of them are gonna be like this, I'm out. But I kept going, and some of them were really good. But most of them were okay. I do think this is gonna have a lot of discussions in book groups. This has a lot to say. Where are we going as a society? Yes, this is kind of a look at the theoretical, like, Chinese Communist Party, but really, isn't it all of us? The glorious party can do no wrong. The glorious party. So I enjoy the stories with speculative elements, like the Chrysanthemum Plague. That was one of my favorite stories. And I enjoyed the way that they intersected, but this really just wasn't my favorite. I would recommend it widely for people who like literary fiction with just like the tiniest little bit of speculative stuff going on in kind of the sides.
You're sick of my madness. Don't you tell me what I'm supposed to do. You're better off without me. Don't you tell me what I'm supposed to do. When I'm walking on the streets half naked, it's part of me, it's part of me. When I'm making my brain makeup, it's part of me, it's part of me. When you're crushing on my dreams and you're making me so full, get out of my life. I know what I'm supposed to do. When you're crushing on my dreams and you're making me so full, I know what I'm supposed to do.
What did I just read? Vanishing Worlds is a translation, so it fits that prompt for the Goober Readathon. I liked Convenience Store Woman by this author, and I was so on board for 95% of this book. I have been in some of these situations. Like, the best compliment I've ever had is, "You're the kind of woman I want dating my husband." And, like, it happens, you know? And in a post-World War II Japan, artificial insemination became the norm, and copulating became gross and weird. And, like, your family, why would you have sex with your family? That's incest. Ew. So, husbands and wives don't copulate anymore. Everyone gets artificially inseminated, except for, like, the weirdos and the freaks. And eventually, people are kind of over sex completely, and most people don't even see the need for it. Although I think it is funny that they still won't let same-sex people get married. They're like, yeah, we understand it's more about, like, family and, like, being there for each other. And sorry, my air conditioner just came on. I live in Texas. I'm so sorry. But, like, I was like, okay, I can see how this would happen. And for, like, a decade or two now, in Japan, they have had these, what they call vegetarian boys, that have no interest at all. Like, they never leave their homes. They're, like, spoiled, basically. And, like, just sex is not on their radar. And from what I have heard, America is now having a very similar thing where Gen Z is not having sex. And I mean, good for you. Do whatever makes you happy. And not having teenage pregnancies, good. That's a great thing. But it just was an interesting exploration of where that might go. And I was totally on board with the interesting speculative weirdness of this book until literally, like, the last few pages. The last few pages, I was like, what? Why? And overall, I think this book asks a lot of interesting questions. I think this would be a really great book club pick. You could talk about some of these situations for hours, especially if there's a little liquid social lubricant going on as well. So I loved most of this book, but the last 5%, I was like, why did we do that? And I would like to hear from anyone who has read this. What? I may unpack it more later and understand it more later, but right now I'm just, what? Thank you for joining me this week. Let me know if you're gonna pick anything up from this vlog, what your favorite books have been lately, if you're doing any of these readathons, and are you crocheting anything fun? As always, the pattern will be in the description box, along with all the other socials and such. To the YouTubies, please like, subscribe, comment, all that fun jazz. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, do things that are going to treat your soul well, drink water, eat your vegetables, take a nap. And as always, shoulders back, heads up, and breathe.
I know what I'm supposed to do.